Welcome. It's week 2. It's week 1. It's the middle of the week. It's fantasy football. I'm happy. I'm sorry. Matt usually opens, so I'm just going to be, Well, we're going to start off. Dylan put together a bunch of amazing rankings. I bet you're going to be shocked at whatever magical stats he pulled up to make whoever first. Shocked. So it's going to be him. It's going to be him. He pulls every stat from every ESPN analyst, and somehow every year they magically make him number 1, even though he has Kyle Pitts starting.
Yep. So the big thing here is Matt's not in this video, obviously. Me and Caleb just want to do a little wrap up for the week, talk about some matchups, and go over the rankings I have set up at the end of the video. They're nothing based on what we ranked each other at the beginning of the year, because that was stat based, that was league based, that was everyone based. These rankings are based purely on how your team performed over expectations. So if you already projected really high and your team underperformed, that kind of sucks for you. But if you're projected to be a really low team and you overperform just like crazy, you're going to be ranked pretty high. So I think that's a good way to start these rankings. And then we'll do the overall standings based on that draft coming up, starting with Matt's video, and Matt comes in on Thursday. So that's just change, or Matt comes in whatever day Matt comes in. So these rankings we'll have two kinds of rankings. We'll have our rankings based on what we voted post draft, and the rankings based purely on performance of the players on your team, such as these rankings. But we'll go ahead and start it up with the first matchup we want to look at. We can start at this matchup last. Look at a different matchup to start. We don't really want to look at the best matchup first. All right, first matchup we have is Mason versus Drew. What do you think of this, Caleb? First of all, what were our picks? I picked Drew here. Obviously, I lost.
I picked Drew too.
And so did Matt. So we're all three starting 0-3.
My problem was I picked Drew after Chris Godwin and CeeDee Lamb played. I figured, Deontay and Stephon Diggs would get close to matching that. But then Josh Allen pooped the bed. It just didn't have any good performance. And then Mark Andrews was so many underperformers, Drew. It was so disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, you had a breakout.
Mostert got injured. Just so disappointing.
You had a breakout performance there by CD and Chris Godwin, and Justin Jefferson really is the only guy on his receiver pool that didn't perform. I mean, Tyler Lockett sat on his bench and did great. Mason had a great week this week. Kareem Hunt got some work done for him that set him up for touchdowns. Kamara looked better than what most people thought, but anyone looked good against that Packers team that played last week. Drew really got screwed. I don't think any of us really liked Raheem Mostert to begin with because of the running back committee, but the injury doesn't help. And just Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs didn't really perform what they're known to. Drew's team just really didn't perform. So
yeah,
I like Mason's team going forward, but it's you'll see in like expectations, will he continue to perform above expectations, or will he be where he's at now?
I just remember on draft day, Drew looked at me. Why'd you take TJ Hawkinson over Mark Andrews? Drew,
this is why.
That's why. Right there.
Yes, so starting out, all three of us are 0-3. Next, we go into Caleb and Bryce's matchup as it loads.
Okay, this is actually the closest one of the week. Like Sunday at 3 o'clock, ESPN's projected winner had Bryce like at 85%, but Tyson Williams came into play.
So you both came in with 118 points, and I thought Justin Tucker and Tyson Williams, depending on how the Ravens utilized him, was going to be a really close matchup there.
Yeah, I was nervous of Tyson putting up a goose egg.
Because Justin Tucker put up the points we're going to expect. Tyson Williams he had a good game, and it looks like he's going to be good in the committee. Underperformers for these teams, Najee Harris. I mean, he did not look good. Calvin Ridley did not look good. The whole Falcons team didn't look good, and that's what came from it. Adam Thielen, a lot of people were saying it wasn't score touchdowns over all sorts of sites. I myself said he might have a down year, but he came out and performed, that's for sure. Devontae Adams had an under game, but Jerry Jeudy's out for the season now.
He's only out for 4 weeks.
He might be out for the season the way at this rate's going with your IR.
Only 3. I'm winning at $10.
I still like Bryce's team. He had a little down week, kind of. I mean, he still scored 129 for the fourth highest score of the week.
Yeah, Saquon should come back and
fifth highest score of the week.
More than 4.
Saquon should be back eventually, and then Caleb, your team performed pretty well. All about average or below average, or like TJ Hawkinson really stepped it up, and Tyson Williams stepped it up for you really. Antonio Brown sat on your bench, Devontae Smith sat on your bench. So on that matchup, I didn't get it right.
I got it right.
You got it right. Did Matt get it right?
Matt got it right.
Yep. So you and Matt. So I'm 0-2. You and Matt are both 1-1. Next matchup is Matt versus Connor. Our worst matchup of the week by a landslide.
wow, I can't believe Matt. They both deserve. Trevor walking away with the loss and Matt walking away with the win. Fantasy.
No, Connor Boydson, your brother walking away with a loss. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
Matt walking away with a win and Trevor walking away with a loss. Fantasy.
Yeah, I mean, Matt, both their teams just looked awful. Honestly, Tom Brady is about the only shining moment on Tom Brady. I mean, on Connor's team.
Yeah, but Robert Woods, Zeke, Eckler, McLaurin should all do better.
You expect that out of all these guys, but it's like, will they? McLaurin just lost Fitzmagic. You have Heineke who's looked good. You have Ezekiel Elliott. They were passing dominant.
Well, because they were behind the entire game. It was playing Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay's the best rushing defense. Zeke should be fine. He should get some touchdowns. He should match his projection of the 14-point per week guy.
Yep, and I like that team too. And then Matt's team George Kittle had 9 points, 9.8 points. I don't even think he was top 5 tight ends.
Nope, and he drafted him above T.J. Hawkinson.
Yep. Derrick Henry, 10.7 points. Lamar Jackson, only 18 points. And a fumble at the end of the game. What was that? He made this way too close of a matchup for what it was. And it was shocking. I am now 0-3. I picked against Matt.
I did too.
You picked against Matt. And Matt picked against himself, I'm pretty sure, as well. So you're both 1-2 on picks, and I am 0-3 on picks. The next pick was then going towards myself and Connor McClain.
Aaron Rodgers, MVP.
Aaron Rodgers, MVP, baby.
Kyle Pitts. I don't know why you took Kyle Pitts in the 5th round. I said at the beginning, rookie tight ends are always overhyped. And what is he? Overhyped.
Yeah, and so I don't really know what to think of Kyle Pitts. It's kind of worth it to start because he's a rookie. See what happens. Like you saw with a bunch of rookie wide receivers this week. You saw what Devontae Smith could do. You saw what Jalen Waddle could do. You saw what who's the other receiver that made a big rookie catch?
Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith, Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase had some good things. Big things here. Connor's team, honestly, his starters like Darren Waller did what you thought he was going to do. DeAndre Swift had an above game. Joe Mixon had an above game, and Patrick Mahomes did what he thought you were going to do.
And was Aaron Jones putting up 4.
I still have strong concerns for Connor's receiving core. As you can tell, Robbie Anderson got lucky with 1 reception for a touchdown. 1 reception. Tyler Boyd, just Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are out playing now. On my side, it's like Aaron Rodgers shit the bed.
Yeah, if Aaron Rodgers does anything, you win.
If he does anything, I really win. Matthew Stafford's at 24.34 points, but it's like looking into next week, it's fine. I think Connor's team will still be up there, but he's not going to be able to compete at the top of the league without getting a receiver core, I don't think. But I'm 0 for 4 on picks this week, and Caleb, did you pick Connor?
I did.
So Caleb is 2-2, and Matt picked Connor as well. Matt is 2-2, or Matt is 2-2. Yeah. We then go to the last game, the highest scoring game, and yet our worst team from the past 2 seasons, and yet he cannot get a win with the second highest score of the week. I think that if you haven't noticed, this is just Trevor's luck at this point. Trevor tries to win, I think. I think the gods tell him no. Kyler, what an astonishing.
Actually had a good team this week. Like it wasn't the
Tyreek Hill, 37 points. Odell Beckham, I think it was too late of a game for him to get a new guy.
Nobody else on his bench.
So it's like that sucks. I don't know.
If he puts anybody in, he wins.
Yep. Gronk and Logan Thomas are both pretty good, so it's probably a dual tight end set coming out of him, I'd assume.
Tight end 1, Gronk after week 1.
Yep. Julio didn't really perform, but A.J. Brown, as we saw, wasn't amazing either. He looked decent, but he wasn't amazing. And the other side, Isaac's team just
honestly has the best team, and then he's got.
This is the issue that came from Isaac's team, though. He had a lot of carries because James Robinson didn't really put up the points he wanted against the Houston Texans. That's got to be concerning. Mike Evans, I don't think he's a wide receiver 1 this year. He may barely be a wide receiver 2. He got 5 points.
But then he's got Clyde and Brandon Ayuk on his bench who should come in and do fine.
Yeah, Brandon Ayuk.
And Mike Williams. Yeah, Isaac will fix those.
No, he's fine if he can figure out who he wants to start. Because if he continues to start Mike Evans, will it continue to be this way? The thing is, Jarvis Landry, he's going to have a good game. But, I mean, Odell was out. Mike Williams had a good game. I think he continues to have a good game. He's a good pickup last year. He's good now. I still don't know about CEH. He's probably got a 10 to 15-point guy every week. Consistent with those many points, but he's never going to be a breakout player.
And that's a good RB2.
That's a good RB2, yeah. Brandon Ayuk, he played, no catches. They say it's a hamstring injury. We'll see. I thought from the beginning Brandon Ayuk was going to be wide receiver 1 there. But Debo's healthy. We don't know. It's just I think it's going to be a lot of pick and choose for who he wants to start, and that could really dictate his team.
Isaac's got the best team.
Yeah, but I like Isaac's team.
Maybe Trevor will get redemption, if you will.
Trevor could get redemption.
Week 17,
right.
Or week 15, whatever they play.
But so, disregarding this, we have one more thing really for this video. So we saw the results. We saw it win. It was a good week of football, good week of fantasy football, and I think it's a lot closer than it was last year, at least with teams for sure.
Matt's the Trevor.
This is the last thing. Can you read this fine, Caleb?
Yeah.
All right, so this is the power rankings. This is purely result-based. So how your team did this week above or below expectations. And everyone, we have a new number 1 who's never even seen the light of day at this spot. Trevor Rowland at number 1. An astonishing figure. He put on average 6+ points on top of the projected score for his players. And at the bottom, sadly enough, Matt is – so when you're putting this into the system, Matt is the only team that actually was ranked outside of the top 10. So I think it's outside of the top 10. So I think the tier is 1 through 9 and then Matt. No offense to Matt.
Why is he outside of the top 10 if there's only 10 of us?
Because he scored so low that the system actually put him outside of the standard deviation realm. So it wasn't possible for Matt to actually be ranked because they said it's not possible to score that low below expectations.
So these stats come from the player's projected score.
Yep, your projected score, then put in
so it's the actual score minus projected score.
Yes, and then it's averaged out and then put into your players over the entire average. So out of every player that played this week, it's averaged out to what the average score was.
This is just who performed better than they were supposed to. So
no, it is.
So, okay, there we go. It's just clarifying it.
Yeah, it's who performed the best over what they were projected to do. So Trevor performed the best right now. And each week this will tally on. So when Trevor, Mason, you can all see the rankings. Trevor and Mason, who are projected very low to start with, are 1 and 2. You have players like myself and Bryce at 4 and 6, and then Drew and Matt are still kind of at the bottom with the Connor brothers. Connor Boydston did not really perform expected at all.
I just don't understand how Connor wasn't last when he scored the lowest. I mean, he was projected to score more than that. Yep.
So Connor went to 8, and the thing is, it's based on your players also on your bench. You have 3 flex players. Yep. So it's just a big thing like that. It's your top 7 players, not including defense or kickers, and then plus your 3 extra flex off the bench. So it's 10 players total off your team. Your top 10 players, how they did, how they performed, because obviously you're going to change out your players week by week. So Trevor finishes at 1 with this. That's insane. But I will add on to this. This will be our new ranks, and then we'll produce the overall rankings based on how we all picked teams to be over the whole league with Matt later this week. But I think with this, looking at this, though, you see a lot of teams are going to be competitive, I think. The only teams that really didn't show up competitive are Matt. Connor looks like he's a little overrated, Connor Boydston. Myself, I'm right on that middle range, 4 to 6 range. Bryce is still on that 4 to 6 range as expected. And then Mason and Trevor really outperform. So if the teams can stay up with this, it's going to be a really good year, I think. Any really final thoughts, Caleb?
Yeah. Sorry, I got a work email. Somebody come beat me.
You heard it here first. Caleb wants everyone to go 0-16, and he doesn't think anyone can beat him.
Well, I don't think anybody can beat Isaac right now. But yeah, let's see. As long as Dylan and Connor and Matt all go 0-15, I'm happy.
I just want to see Trevor beat 2 wins.
I think he's going to. Hot take, Trevor is going to get more than 2 wins this year.
Hot take of the week, Trevor gets more than 2 wins.
Adios, everybody.